2 years ago, I was working for a company as a person who measures houses. It's where you have an iPad and you go to people's homes to draw up floor plans and measure rooms for carpet or hardwood flooring projects. Anyone can request one. I was 25 at the time and one of the few females that worked this position. I was actually really good at the job, so they gave me a lot of work, and I usually hit between 10 to 14 houses a day, driving all over multiple towns. This house was my last house of the day in the middle of nowhere, and I was exhausted. When I got there, I was incredibly annoyed because the customer wasn't home and was late for his appointment. 10 minutes later, he pulls up next to my car. He was a middle-aged man, balding, wearing normal office job attire with a tie and everything. He seemed a bit awkward, but was apologetic and let me into his home. Upon entering, the house was unbelievably spotless and organized with minimal furniture and smelled like cleaning supplies. It didn't strike me as odd at first. He also had two cats lounging in the living room. He first started acting weird as I was directed to the first bedroom. He mentioned, "Wow, my cats love you. They usually don't take to strangers like this." The funny thing about his statement was that his cats literally didn't come anywhere near me the whole time. Anyways, to not seem rude, I just nodded and smiled while I got to work scaling out the master bedroom on my iPad. He started inquiring about the electronics I was using. "Do they keep track of where you are on that thing?" "Yes, and my boss knows how long each job should take based on the scope of work. It's incredible technology." I lied without missing a beat. He agreed it was amazing. "Be careful, don't touch the gun on the nightstand, it might go off," he chuckled. Talk about immediate spine chill. I looked up from my iPad and sure enough, there was a handgun on the nightstand. I knew instantly that I needed to behave as though nothing was triggering alarms for me. He directed me to the second bedroom, and he said the exact same thing, warning me of a gun on the nightstand that was indeed there. This was the moment I knew I was in danger. At first I thought it was just my anxiety around guns, but at this point the tension building between us was undeniable. There were only 2 bedrooms on the scope of work. I hastily met up with him in the kitchen and began running down the next steps. But he interrupted me. "Could you measure the basement stairs? I forgot to add them to the list. And I think I might want to carpet them in the future." My heart dropped, but my stupid customer service conditioned brain could not figure out how to get away with saying no. He led me to the basement door, and there is no way he was planning on doing anything with these stairs. They were plank wooden stairs, L-shaped, going down leading to an unfinished basement. Unfortunately, in order to get an accurate measurement, I had to walk all the way down them to the basement. Meanwhile, he stood blocking the doorway with a smile on his face, mentioning again about whether or not my boss knew where I was, to which I shortly replied yes. Once I got to the basement, I scanned the room quickly. There was not one, but 7 deep freezers lining the walls, and in the middle of the room was a lit, low-hanging ceiling light, revealing an old television set. VHS tapes scattered the floor, and an old recliner facing the TV. Behind the set, 2 white shelves full of VHS tapes. In this moment, I knew one of two things was going to happen. He was either going to let me go, or he was going to push me down the fucking stairs. I held my breath, put a smile on my face in an attempt to act my way out of this situation, and began to climb the stairs. All I could hear was my heartbeat. He was still blocking the door, no smile this time. And as I got to about the fifth stair from the top, I felt him hesitate for a second, which made me hesitate as well. You could cut the tension with a knife, and I finally understood that expression. To my absolute shock and relief, he stepped aside. I made a beeline towards the front door, not saying a word when he stopped me again, saying, "Oh, before you go, won't you give my cats a treat? They loved you so much." He was holding a bag of cat treats. I quickly gave his cats a treat, thanked him, and practically ran out of the house, and definitely ran to my car. The second I got out of his driveway, I had the most intense panic attack and cried. I tried to call my boss, but I was in a dead zone. The truth of the matter is that my boss would not have noticed I was missing for at least 24 hours when I didn't route my day the next workday. Yes, he would have eventually been caught, as it was my last known location, but I would have been long dead. I suffered PTSD over this experience. Couldn't sleep for a week. I was petrified to work my job, but had no choice. This day still haunts me. The worst part, I was so messed up, jumbled, and in denial over the situation, I forgot to write down his address.